Young and the Restless spoilers. Tuesday, full the 15th of July, 2026. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is a slightly cloudy Thursday here, but honestly, it is nothing compared to the absolute storm brewing over in Genoa City. Grab your biggest mug of coffee, maybe a snack, because we have a massive amount of ground to cover today and I am fully ready to rant. So, let's just jump right into the deep end of the pool. The Young and the Restless spoilers are out, and they are absolutely wild. Victor Newman has his company back. I mean, did anyone actually doubt this? Let's be real. None of us, and I mean literally none of the viewers, ever thought Victor was going to stay down for long. The man is essentially made of Teflon and espresso. But the way it actually happened, the way he manifested this return to power, it comes right at the exact same time that a whole army of enemies is lining up at his door. And honestly, it is about time. And let's talk about Phyllis Summers for a second. Her hostile takeover, her grand moment of stealing his empire, it was so short-lived. The Summers group has completely fallen apart, just dissolved into dust. When she was finally forced to surrender, it all came crashing down. And Newman Enterprises just rises from the ashes like a phoenix. Which, by the way, is a hilarious and probably intentional pun aimed right at Phyllis's self-appointed nickname. You have to laugh at the sheer petty genius of it. Hower. But Victor's gift to Phyllis before all this went down was so multi-layered and confusing. He actually appreciated her role in saving Nick Newman after his horrific drug overdose. He gave her a pass, or at least a temporary one, because she kept his son alive. But the man with the mustache calculates every single move, every blink, every breath. He doesn't do anything just out of the kindness of his heart. He used her, he thanked her, and then he let her empire crumble. Typical Victor. So now we have to pivot to Kane Ashby. Kane is absolutely not a fan of Victor Newman right now. Let's be real. He never really has been, but this is a whole new level of hatred. Victor completely blocked Kane from fulfilling Colin Atkinson's dying wish. Remember that whole mess? The Arabesque company was completely dissolved, just wiped off the corporate map entirely. And what did Victor do with the scraps? He handed the remnants over to Phyllis. Oh, the irony. The absolute twisted irony of Victor giving Kane's legacy to Phyllis just to prove a point. It's so petty, but it's so Victor. But Kane isn't just sitting around crying about it. No, he is making moves. Big moves. Kane is now helping Lily Winters take over Chancellor. And this is where the story gets really, really dark and twisted. Lily was promised the reins to Chancellor by Victor. But there was a catch. A massive, horrible catch. Victor made Lily pretend that she and her twin children, Maddie and Charlie, were kidnapped by him. Yes, you heard that right. A fake kidnapping. Just let that sink in for a minute. What kind of sick mind comes up with that? Victor orchestrated this entire fake abduction ruse just to bring Kane to heel. He wanted to break Kane, to make him submit, and he used Lily and the kids to do it. The psychological trauma of that alone is staggering. And the reward for Lily's collusion in this sick game? Chancellor. But honestly, I have to wonder if Lily even realizes the true cost of what she did, especially after Victor dragged his feet and delayed giving it to her. She sold a piece of her soul for that company. And now Kane is right there beside her, helping her run it. Victor is going to absolutely hate this. He will not take kindly to Kane running Chancellor. The rivalry between these two is about to reignite in a massive way, and I am here for the corporate bloodshed. But corporate warfare is nothing compared to the actual, literal bloodshed happening right now. Let's talk about Kyle Abbott. Kyle wants revenge on the mustache. And I don't blame him. Let's do a little history lesson. Kyle used to be Victor's protege. Way back in the day, long before Michael Mealer took over the role and made Kyle the man he is today. Victor used to mentor him, used to try and mold him into a mini Newman. But those days are long, long gone. Today, Kyle is fiercely, completely loyal to his father. And Jack Abbott is currently fighting for his life because Patty Williams stabbed him. I can't even with Patty anymore. I am so tired of her, but at the same time, she brings the absolute most chaotic drama to the screen. Patty stabbed Jack. We knew that. Tracy forced her to confess. But Patty wasn't done. Oh no. The spoilers show that Patty showed up at Genoa City Memorial Hospital, showing the absolute worst behavior possible. She snuck into Jack's room. She had a syringe full of digitalis. She was going to finish the job and stop his heart right there in the hospital bed. Can you imagine the panic? The sheer terror? A security guard thankfully intervened just in the nick of time. But then it turned into a complete madhouse. A chase down the sterile hospital hallways. Squeaking shoes, screaming, alarms blaring. Just absolute chaos. And in the middle of this chaotic chase, the unthinkable happens. Diane Jenkins Abbott, Kyle's mother, who has already been through absolute hell, recently being held hostage in a padded room by that creepy doctor. Markham gets caught in the crossfire. During the struggle, Diane is injected with a lethal dose of digitalis instead of Jack. Diane, injected with digitalis. I literally screamed at my screen. What were the writers thinking? Hasn't Diane suffered enough? She just escaped a bizarre captivity situation and now she has poison coursing through her veins. Kyle had to watch this happen. He had to witness his mother being lethally injected by a madwoman who is obsessed with his father. And who does Kyle blame for this? Victor Newman. And honestly, is Kyle wrong? Think about it. None of this. Literally none of this would have happened if Victor hadn't tracked Patty down and brought her back into Jack's orbit earlier this year just to mess with him. Victor used Patty as a weapon against the Abbotts, and now that weapon has gone completely rogue and is injecting people with heart medication in hospital hallways. Kyle is absolutely justified in his rage. He has publicly threatened Victor, and I think we are going to see a very dark, very dangerous side of Kyle Abbott moving forward. He wants blood. So, with all these enemies, Kane, Lily, Kyle, probably half the town lining up to take a swing at Victor, you would think the great Victor Newman would be preparing for war. You would think he would be building his defenses. But he isn't. Because Victor's focus is completely divided right now. He is distracted. And the reason he is distracted is Nikki. A few episodes ago, we saw Nikki suffering from these blinding, terrifying headaches. We all thought it was her MS flaring up, or maybe just the extreme stress of being married to Victor. We watched Victor play the doting husband, tricking her into signing away her Newman Enterprises shares into a trust while she was drugged out of her mind. Which, by the way, is still one of the most despicable things he has ever done. But the headaches weren't just stress. It was a tumor. Nikki had a brain tumor. The doctors had to perform emergency surgery to remove the mass from her skull. It was a life-or-death situation. And while they managed to get the tumor out, the aftermath is devastating. Nikki is now blind. Yes, Nikki Newman has lost her sight. The surgery saved her life, but took her vision. And now Victor has moved her back to the Newman Ranch. Which, honestly, makes sense. The ranch is ideal for her right now. Her blindness requires a safe, familiar environment, and Victor rebuilt the ranch a few years ago. She knows the layout. She knows every step, every corner. Victor is hovering over her, refusing to let her stay anywhere else but the environment he built for her. He is playing the ultimate caretaker, the devoted, loving husband, sitting by her side, holding her hand, guiding her through the darkness. But let's zoom out for a second. Let's look at the bigger pattern here. Victor is playing the hero to his wife, completely ignoring the fact that he literally just stole her corporate assets while she thought she was dying. The hypocrisy is it's staggering. It is so classic Victor to break your legs and then demand you thank him for buying you a wheelchair. Maybe I'm being too harsh. No, actually, I'm not. He stole her shares. That happened. But regardless of his past sins, right now, in this moment, Victor is vulnerable. His attention is entirely on Nikki and her recovery. He is not watching his back. He is not monitoring his enemies the way he usually does. The all-seeing, all-knowing Victor Newman has a massive blind spot right now. Pun absolutely not intended, but it fits. And this is the perfect storm. The timing is absolutely ripe for an attack. Kane Ashby is sitting at Chancellor, angry about Colin and Arabesque, ready to prove he can beat Victor at his own game. Kyle Abbott is pacing the hospital floors, watching his mother fight off a lethal injection, burning with a desire to make Victor pay for bringing Patty into their lives. Phyllis is lurking in the shadows, her empire gone, nothing left to lose. The GC Overlord is as powerful as he ever was on paper. Newman Enterprises is back in his hands. But the fans know the truth. We've been watching this show for years. We know that Victor has suffered massive defeats in the past because of the enemies he creates and then carelessly provokes. He thinks he is untouchable. He thinks he can juggle a blind wife, a stolen company, a furious Abbott heir, and a vengeful Kane Ashby, all at the same time. But he can't. Something has to give. The walls are closing in on the ranch. Kyle is not going to just let this go. You don't watch your mother get injected with poison and just go back to the boardroom to look at spreadsheets. You go to war. I honestly don't know who is going to strike first. Will it be Kane using Chancellor's resources to undercut Newman? Will it be Kyle doing something reckless and physical? Or will it be someone else entirely? All I know is that the writers have set up a powder keg in Genoa City, and Victor Newman is sitting right on top of it, completely distracted by Nikki. It's going to explode. And when it does, it is going to be messy, emotional, and absolutely fantastic television. I can't wait. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Who do you want to see take Victor down? Kyle or Kane? All right, I need to go lie down and process all this. Until next time, stay restless.